Coming up, Tomomi Sugimoto of Japan stands in the way of another gold medal for Korea's Kang Chae-young. Surprise package Chinese Taipei take on Turkey in the men's team final. And Australian archer Ryan Tyack explains how to get the best out of a recurve bow. The opening stage of the 2019 Hyundai Archery World Cup saw Kang Chae-young and Brady Ellison picking up the gold medals in Medellin. Now, we're in China, amongst the elegant skyscrapers of Shanghai's Pudong district for Stage 2 and Recurve Sunday. We begin with the women's individual gold medal match. Korea's Kang Chae-young is already guaranteed a place at the World Cup finals in September. She's facing Japan's Tomomi Sugimoto, who took bronze in Medellin. Sighter of a 9 just to the left for the Korean. But what a response from the Japanese archer.
Excellent shooting from both.
Pulling that one up into the 8. Very different style of draw. Deep breath from Kang Chae-young. So a 10 required from Tomomi Sugimoto to draw level on 28 points and share the first set points. She puts it into the 8. So Kang Chae-young goes 2 set points to 0 up in this gold medal match. And Sugimoto, trailing, will shoot first on target 1. Back in the yellow, but only a 9. We've seen the Koreans, a bit of a trait, take a first set to get used to conditions and then get better and better. Bit of an adjustment there. Fancy Sugimoto to put the next one in the 10. What can Kang Chae-young do here, though? Edging closer to the center. Down to 1 arrow in the second set now.
A little bit longer of a shot, but still managed a 9. Still really good shooting in a finals match.
Kang Chae-young, an opportunity to steal the points, though. And she's put it into the middle. A 28 plays 27. She did this in Medellin a couple of weeks ago. Is she going to do it again? First 2 arrows in the 9s, getting closer to the 10, and then this one to take it nearly on the X ring, but it was enough. 4-0, perhaps not as confident as Medellin, but still 4-0 up, same result.
Yeah, still it just has to be enough. It doesn't always have to be perfect. It doesn't always have to be 30 every time. I still think the grouping is really good from both archers. There's just going to be a few adjustments here, whether it's from wind or from aiming, but I think we're going to see these land in the middle.
Sugimoto here to fight back in the 3rd set. into the X-ring. Buoyed by her 4-0 lead, Kang puts it in the middle. And the pressure telling there, Tomomi Sugimoto putting it high that time. Pressure can be applied here by the Korean. Sugimoto's really got to put this one in the 10 to give Kang something to think about. It's a 9 and 26 points.
7 to tie and 8 to win.
And of course it's a 9, and she did it in Medellin with a 6-0 victory over Melanie Gobil of France. She's done it here in Shanghai at the second stage, a 6-0 win against Tomomi Sugimoto, and she takes the gold in the women's individual recurve. As a previous stage winner in 2019, Kang's gold here in Shanghai has opened up a spot in the rankings for the World Cup finals in September.
이렇게 잘 할 줄은 상상도 못했는데 그래도 좋은 성적이 계속 있어서 너무 좋고 이렇게 지금 이 기세로 세계선수권 대회까지 갔으면 좋겠습니다.
In a sport where millimetres are the difference between winning and losing, accuracy is vital. Australian archer Ryan Tyack has been telling us more about how to aim.
So there are two main ways that you can aim with a recurve bow. You can aim actively by trying to really put the dot where you're trying to aim, or you can aim a bit more passively where you're looking at where you're trying to aim and letting it all fall into place. So normally if you're aiming actively, the dot will be in focus and the target will be a little bit blurry, whereas a passive aiming process will have the target in focus with the dot a little bit blurry. So when you're aiming actively, you're really trying to hold that dot nice and steady on the target, just by reducing as much movement as possible, whereas aiming passively, you're looking at where you're trying to aim, you're not controlling it super tightly and you're letting it flow and fall into position at the right moment. When you aim actively, you may feel like you have more control over where the arrow is going, and by doing so you can try and hold steadier and be more precise with your shot. For people that aim passively, they'll find that they're more relaxed because they don't have the tension in their body of trying to hold that as steady as they can. Historically, you'll find that passive aiming is more of a recurve thing, and real active aiming has got more to do with compound shooting. So a lot of archers might shoot with a dot or a circle or a crosshair, and that comes down to a personal preference, and there's different pros and cons to each. With a dot, you might find you can be a bit more precise with your aiming point, whereas with a circle, it's easier to look through and passively aim. And archers that use a crosshair might like that for a reference point for their canting. So I would recommend for beginners to learn to aim passively, so that way they can focus more on their technique and making sure they've got that under control. And as they develop as an archer, they can make the decision to shoot passively or actively in their aiming.
Even more, and it's a lot of force. They're trying to move fast. It's not just about holding steady, it's about executing good form, good, strong, dynamic shots.
So when I'm shooting, I'll look at the flags or other indicators I can see on the field, maybe where the other person's arrow has gone, and then I'll decide where I'm aiming. And when I do that, I raise the bow to the aiming point and come down on it, and maintain my focus on that aiming point and let the dot fall into place. Very rarely would I move my aiming point during the shot, but on special occasions you might find the wind's done a full 180, or maybe your teammate in a team round has said a different aiming point, and you take that on board and just make your best decision. It would be highly recommended that you're looking at your aiming point right before you raise your bow. Everything will start to line up as you get to full draw, and so that's when your sight's coming into picture, and really, whether you're an active aimer or a passive aimer, you're already looking at that point and bringing it into your spot.
And a first 10 there for Tyack.
It doesn't really matter how long you're aiming on that point, so if you're there for 3 seconds, 2 seconds, or even a millisecond, if everything's lined up at the moment that your clicker goes off, it's going to be fine.
Chinese Taipei sprung a surprise in the men's team semi-final when they knocked out Korea. Full of confidence after that upset, they met Turkey in the final. In the opening set, Chinese Taipei started strongly, dropping only 2 points. Turkey were failing to hit the centre of the target, and that cost them dearly. A couple of 8s in the second set saw Turkey scoring only 54. Their opponents knew exactly what they needed to do to win the set, but they couldn't capitalise. Well, they share the set points. I think Turkey may be a little relieved with that outcome. As hard as they tried, Turkey couldn't quite get a comeback going in the third set. They finished the match with 3 9s. Chinese Taipei consistently scored higher. Oh, it's on the line. Looks like it's a 10, and Chinese Taipei have taken gold. It was the same 2 countries facing each other in the mixed team final. Turkish hopes rested on 19-year-old pair Mete Gajosh and Yasemin Anagosh, who have spent more than a decade shooting together. Up against them was Tanya Ting and Tang Chi-chun of Chinese Taipei. Chinese Taipei shot first in the opening set and dropped only a single point. Turkey struggled to match those standards. A 7 from Anagosh meant the set was gone. It was more loose shots in set 2 which cost Turkey dearly. Their opponent's consistency was undeniable, and they went 4 set points ahead. Despite the best efforts of the Turkish pair, Chinese Taipei were unstoppable in the third set and comfortably wrapped up the match, along with the gold medal. And he puts it in the X. It's a brilliant win for Chinese Taipei. They certainly have been on form here, and they've taken this one in confident fashion. Still to come, can Korea's women team extend their World Cup unbeaten run to an incredible 6 stages? Lee Woo-seok and Kim Woo-jin battle it out in the men's individual gold medal match. And we hear from the loudest man on the archery field, Korean coach Park Jae-soon. All eyes were on Lu Jiazu Park in Shanghai for the Recurve women's team final. China were backed by a lively home crowd, and they faced Korea, who were already looking to pick up their second gold medal of the season. The Korean trio were not at their best in the first set. Another 8 there. There was an opportunity there for the Chinese archers, but they failed to take it. And with that pressure, we see another 7. With too many drop points in set 2, it looked like the pressure was getting to the Chinese team, and the Koreans were showing no signs of letting up as they moved 4 set points ahead. China at least managed a stronger showing in the third set, but Korean consistency gave them another 2 set points and the match. Olympic champion Chae Hye-jin delivered the final arrow to seal the win. And it's a 9, and there we have it. A dominant performance from Korea. I think China may well be disappointed with their performance in the final, but I'm sure when they look back on this, they've picked up a silver medal in Shanghai with the home crowd cheering them on. They just weren't good enough for Korea, who take the gold. Korean athletes are a regular sight on the podium at the Archery World Cup. We've been finding out more about their charismatic coach, Park Jae-soon.
저는 한국의 장군을 칭할 때 지장, 벽장, 용장 있습니다. 근데 저는 저 스스로 판단한다면 제일 좋은 게 지장인데, 지장, 용장인데 그 둘 합한 벽장이라고 하고 싶을 때 남들은 용장이라고 그럽니다. 좀 와일드하고 화끈하고. 근데 스스로 벽장이라고 하고 싶습니다. 정말 내가 생각하는 좋은 지도자는 첫 번째 선수들하고 소통하고, 그 소통이 되고 나서도 그 다음에 내가 감독이지만 지금 당장 선수들의 입장이 돼가지고 역지사지, 내가 선수고 내가 좀 훈련을 한다, 그런 마음으로 하면은, 그래서 화살법으로 할 때도 계속 걸어 다닙니다. 걸어 다니다 보면 아, 오늘은 날씨가 덥구나, 오늘은 날씨가 춥구나, 내가 다녀봐야, 내가 느껴봐야지. 그래 선수 입장이 돼 보면은 아, 오늘은 훈련이 좀 오버됐구나, 오늘 훈련이 좀 적겠구나. 그런 차원에서 계속 소통하고 선수의 역지사지 마음으로 하면서 같이 행동하고 하는 게 최고 좋은 코치가 아닐까 저는 감히 그렇게 말씀드립니다.
우진이 화이팅! 대! 좋아! 대! 굿샷! 대! 굿샷! 우진아 멋진 좋다 되지? 우승이 화이팅!
일단 선수들이 긴장을 하거나 아니면 자기 좀 의욕이 떨어질 때 뒤에 있는 감독으로서 야, 정말 파이팅하고 열심히 하자.
나와야지. 대! 좋아! 굿샷!
나의 그 화이팅이 선수들한테 1%라도 도움이 된다면 저는 언제든지 화이팅 할 것이고 또 우리 선수를 위해서 최선을 다하려고 하여튼 화이팅 하자는 의미입니다. 열심히 하고.
성준아 더 웃어.
저는 일단 훈련을 하는데 우리 양궁이 아주 평범하고 똑같은 방법된 훈련 때문에 아주 좀 분위기가 다운됐었습니다. 그래서 저는 그런 분위기가 이야기 훈련할 때 다운되지 않기 위해서 계속 이따도 화이팅 해주고 즐겁게 이야기하고 그리고 제가 지금 하고 있는 모습은 12년도 그렇고 16년도 그렇고 내년 도쿄까지 저는 매 올 때마다 국가대표 감독이 내 인생의 마지막 국가대표 감독이다. 그런 마음으로 들어옵니다. 그런 마음으로 들어오면은 뭐 한 시간 아깝고 그리고 나의 모든 열정을 애들한테 내 자식처럼 내 딸처럼 해주고 싶어서 그런 마음을 하기 때문에 너무 즐겁고 행복하고 또 앞으로도 그런 모습으로 계속 기회 대담을 할 것입니다.
Fireworks were expected in the men's gold medal match as Korea's top two met each other. World number one Lee Woo-suk was looking to make amends after a final defeat in Medellin last time out. And he was up against familiar foe Kim Woo-jin. I'm waiting in the wings. They're ready to go, and I can't wait for this one, Mackenzie.
I think it'll be pretty close.
Well, the glass is on the right. Bit of a trademark. Well, he lifted them up just as I said it, and we see the head-to-heads here. Kim Woo-jin, a 9.48 average arrow to a 9.43 from Lee Woo-suk, who, as usual, salutes the crowd. Head-to-head, two apiece, and the average arrow in the two matches actually goes to Lee Woo-suk. He sandwiched 2 wins against his compatriot with 2 losses. All to play for here. Lots of Koreans in the crowd. They'll be polite and clap away, but I think everyone is about to be wowed by the level of archery from these 2 Koreans.
Lee Woo-suk is gonna shoot first and start us off.
This for gold. Wow, that is not the start I expected from Kim Woo-jin.
And the crowd was shocked as well. A little bit of Bo Kwando there from Lee.
Well, correcting there, still a bit high, but massive opportunity for Lee Woo-suk to take perhaps a lead that would surprise him this easily, and that's done and out of reach by a long way for Lee Woo-suk. He's going to take the first 2 set points here. Well, finishing with a strong 10, but 4 points the difference in the first set. Of course, the scoreboard gets wiped clean for the beginning of the second set.
I think he's just figuring it out. He found a 10 on his last 10.
Yeah, well, that start, a 7, is not great, and then the 10 to finish off confident from Lee Woo-suk. He's got to put that first set out of his mind. perhaps affected by the conditions. Kim Woo-jin has to settle his nerve. Well, this time it's Lee Woo-suk who pulls one out into the 8.
Good grouping there from Kim Woo-jin. See those target flags waving a little bit more than what you're used to seeing today. Affecting Kim Woo-jin just a little bit, but I think he's got a little bit better handle on it than Lee Woo-suk does.
Well, and he's put this one out of reach as well. 28 is more than Lee Woo-suk can score, and in fact ends up with a 26, and we're all square after 2 sets. And yes, the wind has certainly picked up. Lee Woo-suk, of course, was going for gold in Medellin, losing out to Brady Ellison there at the first stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup, and Kim Woo-jin picked up the bronze medal in Medellin, going for gold for the first time this season. And here is the 10 he shot. A recovery from that first set for him straight away. All level, Lee Woo-suk to shoot first in set 3 of this gold medal match. Pulling left again. And inside the X ring there. A little bit of pressure on Lee Woo-suk now. He hits the X ring. Very calm, but they're all square. So this set is going to come down to the final arrow from each of the archers. Into the 10. I think that hit the other arrow as well. 10 required to share the set points. And it's dropped into the 9 there. So Lee Woo-suk takes the 3rd set.
It's kind of like they're on a seesaw. They just go back and forth and back and forth.
Well, Park Jae-soon talking to him there. We look back at the 2 10s right on the X ring, and then this 3rd arrow, I think, hits the 2nd arrow, but into the 10. Opportunity already for Lee Woo-suk. See the wind blustering his t-shirt. Into the 10. Opportunity here for Lee Woo-suk. Kim Woo-jin knows this. He puts it into the X ring. But still advantage Lee Woo-suk. 2 10s from him, and he's got the gold in Shanghai. That's 1. Pressure switching over to target 2, and Kim Woo-jin, he needs a 10, I fancy here. And he pulls it into the 8 under pressure. A 7 will draw things level, and 8 will win it for Lee Woo-suk. Oh, and he's done just what he needed. An 8 was all he required. An 8 is what he's scored. And Lee Woo-shuk has beaten his teammate Kim Woo-jin in the final here in Shanghai on Recurve Sunday. He is the champion. Oh, but what a match, and not what we expected. Lee Woo-shuk takes the second stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup individual men's recurve, 6 points to 2 over Kim Woo-jin. The gold medal then for Lee Woo-shuk and a place in the World Cup finals in September. Alongside our other stage winner in 2019, the USA's Brady Ellison.
준비를 많이 못하고 간 게 사실인데 그래도 시합 결과는 좋게 나와서 다행이라고 생각해요.
Recurve Sunday here in Shanghai certainly did not disappoint, with gold medals for Koreans Kang Chae-young and Lee Woo-shuk. Join us next time as Stage 3 of the 2019 Hyundai Archery World Cup arrives in Antalya, Turkey.